Everybody, clearing. Okay, so today I'm going to pull on communication. And we're just going to have a quick look at what each of the counterparts are thinking about the connection, about each other, heart space, all of that regarding communication at this time. So thank you, Divine Creator. What can we see for the feminines and the masculines, and where communication is at this time? So feminines on the left, and for each I'm using 2 decks. I'm going to get how each are feeling or interpreting, thinking of the theme of communication in the dynamic, and then each I'm going to do an advice for the feminines and masculines regarding what they are perceiving at this time in the connections, or the lack thereof. Let's see what happens. So for the masculines, also thank you, Divine Creator, for only the highest and best coming through. What can we see? Okay, first off, I'm going to get 1 card for the feminines regarding communication. Focus. Examine your priorities. So what do you want to get out of communication? What's the reason to communicate? Are those aligned reasons? Yes. Pay attention with intention. So have a relevance to why you want to communicate. If, don't just haphazardly focus in your masculine's general direction. This is about, what is your intention? Aim for your highest potential. So that means include what you want to see and speak and act and relate through that standard. Be strong in your purpose. So that means know your passion, know your life work, know yourself, and represent that. You will achieve your goals. So if you have these clearly defined awarenesses for why communication is relevant and in alignment for you, never mind what your counterpart thinks and feels in some aspect here. This is like exploration, because this is saying all you can do is your best. And when you're communicating with a clear focus for what it is from your side of it, you will achieve your goals. But when we defer to the other one, it's ambiguous. So really clear, beautiful for the feminines. What can we see for the masculines regarding communication? Awareness. Okay. Stay curious and alert. So pay attention when you actually genuinely feel to interact with your feminine. Look forward and stay present. So don't necessarily bring the past into it. We're looking at now and about what can be going forward, not so much what has happened. Every day is a new day, masculines. Seek the truth beyond appearances. So don't be hung up on the appearance of things. Really drop in. This is where your emotions are unpacked and where you get a chance to feel into things that are more than meets the eye. Center yourself before responding. The operative word, responding. Don't take life for granted. You're never guaranteed tomorrow, masculines. You may not have enough time. You may not have time to revisit this connection. Seize the day. Appreciate the subtleties. That can be the progress, that can be the balance. You're getting something out of it. What you resist persists. So even if you're resisting your connection for XYZ reasons, approach it with the subtle things. If you can't, handle the whole thing all at once, appreciate the nuances that you have access to with this particular counterpart. Okay, so let's see. Communication, about the connection. What are the feminines observing or understanding? We get the Four of Cups. So the feminines are literally feeling like it can come back around, that it's not the one that got away. It doesn't have to remain dormant in the past, or it doesn't have to represent a heyday or glory day. It can actually be something that is brought into the now. What is the advice for the feminines on that? Yes, overcoming your anxiety. Instead of just being in general overwhelm and anxiety, pinpoint what are the reasons specifically. Was it a cringy thing that happened? Was it running with rejection stories? Like, what is it that's keeping you from just being in communication and being in this free flow? If you can pinpoint what those relevant triggers or insecurities or circumstances are, you can therefore take the reins of it and begin to set those intentions, those understandings, to bring it into alignment with the higher here. So feminines, you're taking control of this sort of helpless, hopeless, disassociated anxiety, apathetic, and you're seeing where you can work with. A mantra for the feminines at this stage can be, this can work for me. I like to say we can get there from here. Doesn't matter how lost you are. Put that in your energetic maps and start towards the destination. Yeah, so this is really teaching feminines on this journey. This connection is teaching the feminines to be self-directed and focused based on authentic knowledge of that inner potentiality. What are the masculines experiencing? Oh, they're seeing some sort of alignment coming into view here. The masculines are noticing that even if it looked like things were too far apart or some kind of mega difference in the past, they're seeing that we can get there from here. 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 Yeah, but the masculines are seeing that they can't say or do the wrong thing regarding the right person. And they're seeing how no matter what it looks like, you are being brought closer together. What's the advice for the masculines? Light, warmth, wholeness, and well-being. So just keep dropping into that anchor of your truth, your wholeness, because everybody's sort of mastering the lower vibe stuff right now. Masculines are really embodying that, and this is the solar plexus, just, in that empowered, confident, sure energy. So feminines and masculines know that this is moving towards a more solid, grounded future together. So calming anxiety. What are the feminines thinking of the masculines specifically regarding communication? That they know that this connection with you masculines stands to be the most fluid, the most eye to eye, the most directly compatible connection that they've ever had. This is the Two of Cups. It's monogamy. It is one-on-one. It's us against the world kind of stuff. It's the two left standing. It's the two ones alike. This is a caduceus here. I actually just purchased a caduceus print yesterday. So beautiful. It's a personal sync for me. What is the advice for the feminines? Well, the Wheel of Fortune. So this is in the positive, abundant position here. So feminines, keep affirming this in your consciousness, because that's bringing it in. When you're in disintegrated anxiety and you don't see a way, you manifest this kind of butt dial manifesting, or not what you want, opposite results. When you're overcoming the anxiety and using it to tell you more about yourself and how you can course correct, that's when you get back into alignment with what you want to see happen. And so if you remember that the synergy you feel with your masculine is the reason you're doing this, and it's not like a lower vibrational intention, that brings you into alignment with the worthiness, because it's in the eye of the beholder. So if you're seeing it in this higher light, it means that you're seeing yourself in that higher light. And that's going to bring in these blessings, because they always want to come to you, but you have to be accountable in order to catch that ball when it's thrown to you, right? So communication, you have to know and trust this affinity in order for more communication to come in. If you're looking at the segregation templates, the way of looking at it that pits you at odds, you're not going to bring in that flow and that communication. What are the masculines thinking of their feminine? Oh, they know that you think that they are king shit. I just heard the sexiest, badass, gorgeous masculines outgoing. Like, masculines know this. They have gotten that memo. And so, yeah, they're feeling pretty empowered and supported by their feminine right now. Hey, masculines. I believe in miracles. Chamber of Initiation, advice for the masculines, spiritual gifts, mystery, enchantment, and secrets. So there's that secrets again. Masculines, you're still getting the green light to, embody these secret changes, 55. So you are making changes behind the scenes that you haven't necessarily told your feminine about. And so as you get this memo that you are still, your feminine's preference, it should be putting wind in your sails, masculines, to keep making these adjustments behind the scenes and upping your spiritual gifts. Because as you do that, the feminines are picking up on the synergy and getting confirmations, whether that's memories or moment to moment hits energetically, that there is this potential with you. There seems to be as this progress is happening, your feminine is picking up and gaining confidence hand in hand with their own rite of passage, just like you're having this embodied rite of passage and knowing that you're becoming your best version for yourself and for your feminine. So masculines are feeling aligned. Feminines, you're getting the message to stay in alignment. Stay the course, I just heard. What can we see for the heart space about these connections? So, feminines, there's a little bit of a caution here not to run with delusion. To not be in limerence is one way of looking at that, but also don't tell yourself you're crazy. So on the heart space, this whole journey has kind of self-corrected, and you've had to put down madness. You've had to put down over emotionality. Feminines have had to become comfortable with uncertainty and not knowing. So if you can see yourself making progress that way, just know that this is the way that these connections are meant to adjust our hearts. When we don't have communication, we're meant to go to source to balance out. And so periods of no communication with a love like this can be incredibly transformative, feminines, for you to come into center, into balance, and out of that over emotionality or the lower vibrational suffering. You should not, in mastery, let anybody cause that kind of anguish, or blame somebody for causing that anguish. You balancing out your emotions is an inside job. And if you're really in a divine connection, that person won't be causing direct anguish, but these periods of separation will kind of temper out all of the falsehood, all of the illusion of rejection and separation and all of that. So yeah, on the heart space, it's meant to bring you into balance emotionally. in periods of not knowing anything. What about the heart space for the masculines? Yes, unconditional love. So this journey has been opening the masculine's heart to letting go of control issues, to trusting what is in alignment rather than trying to control things, trying to resist, running. This is about staying in unconditional love, which doesn't put rules, regulations, and only goes forward when it's genuinely warranted, but doesn't resist that progress. It's just, putting down ego control tactics and allowing it to unfold naturally, allowing the big picture to be seen rather than being consumed by the devil being in the details is also I'm getting. Power, authority, influence, ambition. Yeah, so this is really amazing because right now, masculines, you're on fire. Like you're really stepping into this next level conviction about what you are forward focused on. This is like some of the most beautiful energy I've seen for the masculines. Power, authority, influence, ambition. So you're stepping into your, I heard the robes of righteousness. Like you are becoming your highest version, and you're meant to keep seeing how embodied you're becoming and how potent your influence is and will be as you continue to align with what is actually for you and ground this into the physical. So that means your influence, your ambition, your inspired life is synonymous with union and on your higher timelines here, your highest timelines. So let your heart keep opening to include true partnership and affinity and also your abundance coming in. What is this communion or communion? What a beautiful word to come out instead of communication on the heart space for the masculines. Temperance. Yeah, so this is another here we've got those two cups again pouring into each other. So what I'm getting is with temperance, the feminine is known for overgiving, right? Pouring out, but this journey on the heart space has set the balance where it's like the audacity of the masculines not returning when we're like too much, right? It's like feminines, stop chasing. You're too much. You're safe not to do that here. And so as the feminines are coming back into an appropriate level of giving, that energetic communication, that language of love on the heart space, that's what this is all about. That's the ultimate gift for you feminines, is to be put at ease, that you don't have to overextend. You're already good enough. You're already worthy. What is the advice? Wow, the devil. So this is the devil in the binding thing. You're going to feel bound to anybody who you can't force into a relationship until you figure out what the benefit has been for you. And everybody watching, you're coming into balance with not feeling like you have to overgive, and so that you can truly receive, which means timing as well, being patient and being aware of the timing. This is like a very materialistic view view of the connection that's being rewritten. Trust the love. If this truly is a love that's not going anywhere, feminines, take your pressure off and just be. Open your eyes wide, open your heart wide, live fully and trust. I am hearing trust that if it's not going to be this person as you come into further alignment showing up, that it will be somebody else, because you cannot unlearn what you now know. And so you will never settle for less than you know your worth now. And so just keep trusting, keep balancing out. Watch where you feel compelled to be too much, and really be honest with self. Sometimes that is warranted, but sometimes it's about receiving. I'm hearing for many feminines, it's time to let a blessings and abundance come from other directions, to pay attention to how you are manifesting instantaneously in many regards, and how you are in grace, receiving a lot of blessings right now. If you haven't already had that experience, watch for it. No sooner are you going to think of someone than they will show up. No sooner are you going to desire something than it will present in a better than imagined way. And so pay attention to how that's all coming in right now, because that's going to help you bring in the confidence of your worthiness and your ability to manifest the life of your dreams. And this stronghold on the heart that feels like your masculine, and this alignment with your masculine is the last frontier, that immovable one day energy is going to give way to union now with a counterpart that is for you, whether it's this person or not. But there is a unilateral receptivity that the feminine is being asked to include instead of doing too much for everyone, everything. Soaking it in, letting it in. I'm even hearing do a meditation where you just intend to receive and to feel that viscerally. I'm getting goosebumps, so that really means something. How are the masculines experiencing their feminine on the heart space communication? They feel your heartache, feminines. Wow, they feel their own heartache. So they are processing a lot of guilt and shame, but they're also taking accountability for their portion of that. And they're also admitting that they get heavily triggered when they feel that in you, feminines. So it's no longer blame and victim. The masculines are sitting with this reality, ever-present reality in the karmic templates of this perpetual pain cycle. And so the masculines are holding that in their heart to have it sort of, that's that devil energy, the immovable disbelief in love winning. That's being looked at on the core level by everybody right now. I mean, that would be the last block that needs to be chipped away to have unions come in, right? A level of love like these connections demands purity on the heart space. And so we're seeing no more rosy sunglasses. We're seeing the crunchy pain in the heart space, and you got to feel it to heal it. So we are getting into the last frontier in there. So what's the advice for the masculines? Quickening exponential expansion 43. So love yourself enough to set your standards on this true love, these higher timelines. Keep making the changes that are required. Things are speeding up. So masculines, things are going to go really fast right now to give way to these higher potentials coming in. And as you do the due diligence to clean up those things that no longer need to be there, and you rapidly make those changes, there's something right now that there's a bottleneck. You're going to get busy right now, masculines. And as you do that, you're going to see more ease and flow come in, and things that are not gelling are going to be released. So things that no longer work for you, they're going to fall away. And things that are foundational for the next period of time coming in, as you select and release, you're going to be given keys of how to let go of this pain on the heart space. Because, we can have a lower vibrational filter self-concept, and we can make choices that don't deviate from our norm. But when we heal and we have our sights set higher, we make choices in alignment with those higher things, and it brings light. It's like, don't focus on the shadows, but focus on the light, and everything's illuminated. Stay focused higher, and these lower vibrational patterns that can't stay there anymore will be shown for what they are. And you don't have to search them directly, masculines, but when you really go for the higher templates, those lower vibrational things are revealed. Wow, beautiful. And that is on the heart of hearts. So you're stepping into this almost shamanic leadership, search and rescue for these heartache things, masculines, but it's going to be because you're shining light on what can be. So masculines, yeah, you've got this very golden Midas touch right now. We've got golden potentiator, golden seed. I think those are the only golden cards in this deck. And so you're like the golden boys right now, or golden masculines. Take gender how it resonates. But that's that sunshine. You are shining the enlightenment on the higher, and that is revealing anything that can't align with the higher is easily seen right now for what it is. So feminines, come into healing. Don't do too much right now. Let your masculine up by taking this action and doing the things and moving the energy. Boom, masculines. What can we see for the wishes regarding feminine's own lives right now? King of Cups. They want to open up emotionally. They want to tell the world that it's been darn hard. So feminines, you're allowed to, it's not tooting your own horn or bolstering your ego, but you're allowed to talk about the stuff that's been a struggle. You don't have to have guilt if you feel like you need to, hard won victories. Feminines, good on you. You've been plugging away, being your own inner masculine, becoming whole, and you're allowed to admit it's not been easy. And so yeah, you're allowed to admit that to yourself. That's the advice right now. Admit it to yourself that you have pulled off some miracles and you have overcome some mountains and you're amazing and you're doing it all while you're doing it all, right? Good for you, feminines. Do what you can to be in that flowing permission in your feminine, allowing yourself to accept the fact that you've had to do it all and you haven't had a masculine being offering you that safe container to go into your feminine. Admit to yourself, celebrate the fact that you can be in your masculine, but that it's, befriend that by, allowing your feminine to maybe even cry about it, go into the emotions. You're safe to feel a certain kind of way about having had to be so strong and so in your masculine. Those are survival things, and you've done well to survive, but honor that you don't have to stay that strong, feminines, and that you're allowed to just get all smushy and in love with yourself for being so great, love the heck out of your masculine aspect internally, like you want to be loving on your external masculine. Let your internal feminine really love your internal masculine and be so grateful for how your internal masculine has gotten you to where you are in this level of consciousness, safety, provision, balance. Beautiful. What can we see for the masculines? They want to have some public recognition for their own gifts and talents. So yeah, masculines, that's coming. We already saw that ambition, authority, influence. You are starting to tap into what your message needs to be to bring to the world. Starseed Awakening, Galactic Remembrance, and Cosmic Heritage 22. So I'm getting since 2022, you've started really tapping into the beginnings, the seeds, the pathways that are going to bring you some acclaim, some public recognition, that your spiritual deepening, your more expanded cosmic view of what life is, that perspective is going to be brought forward into the world, and it's going to be influential. And so that's the purpose that you can be looking at now, masculines, that you've gone through a transformation and you are becoming this butterfly and coming out of the cocoon now and showing the world the real you, this aspect that is spiritual, that is wise, that is a leader, that is a thought leader, that is a spiritual leader, an energetically aware influence, friends, family, you can spot patterns, you're learning to see the big picture, and you're being asked to bring that out into community now. To actually share that with friends and family. Beautiful masculines. What is the communication that the feminines want to manifest with the masculines? Abundance. So the feminines are forward focused on these abundant timelines that can come in. I'm hearing power couple and taking on the world together. Yeah, so the advice, feminine, is to really look at where you fear it's going to be just you plugging away on your own, and what that will be like to actually open your life. You've been in your masculine, doing you, being your everything. There's a hangover energy here in that mode that needs to be released. So wherever you are still feeling like you have to carve it out yourself alone, really start envisioning what that's going to be like together and how that will feel. Mostly the emotion that is attached to that is connected to it, that feels like that golden glow that we're getting from the masculines, that goodness when it comes into alignment and your masculine is genuinely showing up. Actually, what will that look like? What level of abundance? I'm getting the goosebumps again. Be in that feeling, feminines. I'm going to actually turn that one upright on my table. What can we see for the, oh my goodness, the masculines for manifesting in their own life? The higher love. They want to be intentionally bringing through a more love-filled motive in every action, a higher purpose, and a recognition of love and awareness in everything they do. Creation, multiplication, and growth. So they are attuning to this. Masculines, you're attuning to these abundance energies as well. And so, yeah, there are those two Canadian geese. Like, seriously, the masculines are envisioning a little step ahead of you right now. They're designing this growth together by embodying the feeling of being connected with you, feminines. And so feminines, pull your energy into that focus as well. Whatever is accessible, practical, realistic, whether that's energetically or in the physical, just know what would be relevant, what would actually be worthy of celebration. I just heard your highest vision. If your masculine doesn't rise up and meet you in those ways or areas that they could, be very grateful that you've seen the specific ways in which you want to be met. Because if your masculine genuinely isn't or won't or can't, then that means you've learned from this dear, dear soul connection more about yourself, so that you can actively go towards what can be more fulfilling to you. And you haven't known that with such clarity prior to this connection, or you would have already gone towards it. So I'm really seeing that with or without your masculine, you really are being asked to tap into that recognition, first person feminines. And that will, again, help you differentiate between whether this person is for you or not, because they will either align with that place that you can be met in, or they won't. That does the work for you. The uncertainty is released then. If you can identify those ways and clearly communicate them, your masculine can show up and meet you there. They just need to know how to treat you because of, you knowing what would work for you. When they know what would work for you, they can authentically decide if they are ready, willing, and able to give you what you need. And it's not rejection if they ultimately say that they aren't able to do that for some reason. Either they need more time or that's not your person. There is no guesswork in alignment, feminines. This is a really important thing. I'm hearing the masculines say we're always looking for a feminine who knows what they want so that we know if they can match with us or not. So the more clearly defined you can be, specific with what what works for you and what delights you, the more you can tell if this is your person or not, feminine, the more they can tell if you are their person or not. What can we see for the feminines regarding the actions? So this is don't communicate right now, and we have the Lovers. So it doesn't mean don't communicate at all, but okay, the theme of you actually holding back communication as a strategy. Pardon me, that's the real message here. So the advice is when you are stingy with, you feel to reach out and you don't because you're in a hardened state where you think your masculine has to be the one to reach out. If you're genuinely feeling to reach out, the Lovers here, that's the desolate take on the energy. If that's why you're not communicating, is because you've got some resentment that they're not communicating, so you're not going to do it. Take the heart wall down and communicate when you come back into focus on what you want to be communicating about. If your masculine doesn't know what you want to be communicating about, they don't know how to approach you. And so if you're not even aware of what you would like to communicate about or what the relevance for growth would be, then you're just playing games, feminines. Interesting message. What are the masculines? Kindness. They just want to show up. They want to meet you where you're at, feminines. What is the advice, masculines? Consciousness, beginning, and faith, 0 point. So the masculines are that dance partner that want to showcase whatever you want here, feminines. They love you. They want you to be that dance partner that does the moves, and they want to be the one saying, wow, look at you go. They want to be that for you. They want to give you that containment that allows you to be in that flow, feminines. They need a meeting place. They need a relevancy. And so they're not mind readers. You've got to pinpoint what that relevancy would be, feminines. What's the biggest challenge for the feminines? Picking up the pieces, looking at long-term energy, grieving, really taking a look at your strategies, your coping methods, your belief systems, and saying, how is that working for me? Is it working for me? If things aren't getting you progress, if you're getting opposite results, you need to take a deep look at what you think you're doing and why you're doing it, and ask yourself, is it giving me the result I'm asking it to? If it's not, you might have some faulty logic and you need to go back to the drawing board and look at a bigger picture. That's the challenge. What is the solution for the feminines? The 5 of Swords twice. That's my card of free will. Long-term versus short-sighted. Hero's journey versus instinct. This is bringing in expanded consciousness versus limited thinking. The choice is yours. If you're not getting the results you want, this is really tapping in, tuning in. I just heard, as we template these higher relationships as the norm, we're going to have a fast track where so many more people are going to be able to have the safety, the healing, the balance to just go for love. But we're having to come out of a lot of codependent and delusion energy on the planet. And so it's a little bit harder for all of us because we're going from, the broken templates to trailblazing this stuff as the norm, all these reminders. So feminines, just know you're not in this alone, but that's the solution, is to really observe your mind, see what's in there, really look at it. Be responsible, accountable with what you have to work with, and tune in. Wow, yeah, the Hanged Man. These are the epiphanies. This is the inverted perception. The 5s are the teeter-totter from one way to another, from one more immature way to a mature way of looking at things. When you see what you have, the road to hell is paved by good intention. You've had good intentions. You've been doing the best you can. I'm not going to argue that you haven't tried your best so far, feminines. But if it's not getting you the results that you have desired, it's still not what it can be. And so have these epiphanies. Look at things in the inverse. Look at things in a different way. Dare to ask yourself, what would be the opposite interpretation? If you've got something that's a sticking point, challenge yourself. What would be a radically different way of interpreting that very same thing? And see if that doesn't just flip a light bulb switch. What are the masculines most challenged by with communication? Divine timing. And getting up and out of heart wave resonator, ecstasy, rapture, flux, and amplification. So their biggest challenge is wanting to get to the good part, wanting to have this resonance and going deep with the feminine and falling in love. They're challenged by that it hasn't been time to just really revel in the love. What's the solution? Still ending the karmic burden. Clearing your aura, clearing your conscience, up-leveling out of all of the misconceptions. So masculines are going through a purification right now. I heard celibacy. Good on you masculines that are abstaining right now. So there is a letting go of all of the energy vampires I just heard and lower vibrational tethers to people, places, and things that haven't served. Masculines, you're house cleaning. You're energetically house cleaning right now. And you're restoring your own essence, your own life force vitality. What is the direction of the communication? So yeah, you're setting your own baseline and you're getting rid of the karmic birdies in your ears, masculines, so that when you speak to your feminine, it will be your actual authentic stance, take, alignment with things, and not what you're representing from the fear-mongering or the limited thinking or the obstacle-focused karmic pressure. What is the direction of communication in the future, in the near future? Energetic exchange, feminines, and reciprocity. So this is really you knowing what you are ready for, what is honoring and respectful on the deepest levels, and being able to know that that is what will work for you. And that it is coming, and that you can begin to see glimmers and flickers of it and be in a conscious appreciation of those things, of what would really matter. And so you can then be accountable to grow it when you see it, whether that's appreciating it or, looking at it, focusing on it, speaking about it, accentuating it, inviting more of it, pinpointing it, expressing it. So this is picking up on the energy of what you would like to experience more of, and then affirming that in these connections. That doesn't have to be spelled out. It doesn't have to be overly explained to your person. It can just be what you choose to acknowledge or not focus on. It can be that you just, pinpoint a specific thing and express how relevant that is to you, and possibly quickly why, or just what a beautiful mysterious game when something makes you feel joy and you let your masculine know that. People are curious, they're going to want to know why, and they're going to put in a little bit of effort to understand what about that made my feminine appreciate me, or why do they appreciate that which they just were joyful about. That curiosity is going to grow. What about the masculine? So I'm getting nonverbal communication here. This is feminines coming into more of a savvy of the metaphysical, the energetic, the behind the scenes stuff, or less direct. And it's not indirect in the sense that it's a carrot on a stick. It's it's textural. It's a deeper, more poetic, romantic layer of reality that speaks of faith and trust and grounding and security. It's not so much guesswork, but affirmation of your truth, your appreciation, your alignment, your resonance with the things that you actually are aligned with. It's time to start speaking more freely from that and celebrating by acknowledging those things in the connection with your counterpart. What can we see for the masculines? Progress, internal progress. So the gears are turning in there, I just heard. So the masculines are going to be curious by the feminines and what the feminines choose to engage over and what is relevant to the feminines. This is going to start the gears turning. So the masculines are going to start now being shown what success looks like by your alignment, by your standards, feminines, and they're going to start finding ways to bring more of that in. Divinity, honor, responsibility, and humility. So they're going to feel like it is their responsibility to be that person for you that supports and affirms and delights and meets you in those ways that you're now feeling worthy to express and to bring out to the forefront. And this is where the masculines, where it's safe for them to meet the feminine, rise into meeting and alignment with the feminine, because you've embodied more of the worthiness to actually express what turns you on. Many blessings, everyone. Bye for now.